Import. Import is a simple introduction to the national customs territory of goods of foreign origin or that come from a free trade zone. There is a list of things to do to import to the country. First, a market research, then the import registration and authorizations, tariff rates, custom broker and customs duty payments, and means of payment. Then we need some documents: international sales contract, commercial invoice, certificate of origin, and the declaration of value, packing list, mandate of or power of service, transport or shipping document, and registration or import license. Let's talk about the modalities. First, we have the ordinary import, the introduction of merchandise destined to remain indefinitely in the national territory for consumption, with the payment of customs taxes. The opportunity to declare is 1 month or in advance up to 15 days. The presentation of the declaration must be to the Customs Administration of the jurisdiction where the merchandise is located. Then we have the import with franchise. It is that importation that enjoys total or partial exemption from customs taxes and on the basis that the merchandise remains in a restricted disposition. This means that the merchandise will only be used for the process obtained through the franchise, as the case may be. Then we have the import for transformation and assembly. Goods imported are going to be subject to processes of transformation or assembly by industry recognized as such by the competent authority and authorized for these purposes by the National Tax and Customs Directorate. And your disposition would be restricted. Completely knocked down is the first way, or semi-completely knocked down the second way. Now we're going to talk about modalities with re-importation. First, we have the re-importation for passive improvement. It occurs when there is a need to temporarily export goods, whether for processing, repair, transformation, or warranty. It will cost customs taxes when entering the country again on the added value abroad, including the additional expenses to set operation. The re-importation in the same state. The merchandise that is nationalized has been exported temporarily but has not undergone modifications abroad. It can be imported without payment of customs duties. The import declaration must be presented within the year following the export of the merchandise. The temporary exportation cannot exceed the term of 3 years. Finally, we have the import in compliance with warranty. The merchandise that in compliance with a manufacturer's or supplier's warranty has been repaired abroad or replaced may be imported without paying customs duties. Now, to learn more about modalities for import of goods destined for re-exportation, let's meet in our virtual classroom for group presentations. Temporary admission for re-exportation in the same state. It is the import of goods destined for re-exportation without any modifications except for the normal depreciation. This may cause the suspension of customs duties and restricted disposition. The maximum term of the import will be of 6 months, extendable for 3 more months. And when it comes to capital goods, parts and accessories in the same shipment, what happens? Good question, Abby. Can you help us, Jimmy? Temporary long-term imports. The maximum term of this import will be for 5 years. Customs taxes are settled in dollars, which must be paid in equal semi-annual installments. The act may require a warranty up to 150% of customs duties. What if the machinery or equipment or parts are subject of a contract of lease? In that case, it can be imported for a period exceeding 6 months. It will cancel the custom taxes proportionally to the time of authorized stay. We can also import private service aircraft and boats for commercial or business activities if it is only for transportation of persons without exceeding 1 year. So, if my cousin comes as a tourist, could he bring his car for transportation? Yes, for 6 months, extendable for an equal period subject to the term of the tourist visa granted. Temporary importation for active improvement is an importation of goods destined to be re-exported after having undergone transformation, processing, or repair, as well as the supplies necessary for this operation with total or partial suspension of import duties. The temporary import classes for inward processing are: A. Temporary importation for active improvement of capital goods. These apply to capital goods and it's extendable. B. Temporary import in development of a special import-export system. Applies to specific goods in development of a special import-export systems under the protection of Articles 172, 73, and 74 of the Decree Law 444 of 1967 in restricted disposition. C. Temporary import for industrial processing. This applies to raw materials and inputs that are going to be subject to transformation, processing, or industrial manufacturing by industries recognized as OAS without payment of custom taxes, and its disposition will be restricted. We also have the postal traffic and urgent courier shipments. Import shipments by mail, parcels, and express consignments, provided their value does not exceed 2,000 United States dollars and require fast delivery to the recipient, the imported merchandise is freely available. This merchandise may remain stored up to 1 month. They should meet the following requirements: should not constitute commercial expeditions not exceeding 6 units of the same class, that its weight does not exceed 50 kilograms, that its measure does not exceed 1.5 meters in any of its dimensions, not 3 meters the sum of the length and the largest contour taken in the direction different from that of the length. There are also urgent deliveries. The DIAN may authorize without prior process the direct delivery to the importer of certain merchandise, either because they enter as an aid for victims of catastrophe and disasters, or because they respond to the satisfaction of a pressing need. Custom duties will be incurred and customs will require a warranty to ensure the completion of the procedures. Import of commercial samples without any value. It is the modality under which they are imported for promotional or advertising purposes, for experimentation, technical and scientific tests, or as a prototype of products not intended for commercialization. The unit value of each item must not exceed $50 or more than 10 units per shipment. The total value of the shipment must not exceed $1,000. Travelers. The passenger modality is only applicable to merchandise that does not constitute a commercial expedition. Travelers entering the country will have the right to bring as accompanied luggage without registration or import license up to a total value of $1,500, free of the payment of custom duties. Those coming from San Andres Island with a minimum stay of 2 days will have personal and non-transferable right to bring, without the payment of custom taxes, new items for personal use up to $2,500. Then we have domestic ménage. Non-residents in the country who enter the national territory to fix their residence in it will have the right to introduce without registration or import license the personal effects and the domestic households corresponding to their family unit, canceling a single tax of 15% ad valorem if it arrived 1 month before or 4 months after the date of the arrival of the owner. And finally, we have the Diplomats Regime. Import of goods carried out by diplomatics and consular missions accredited to the Colombian government, and import of Colombian diplomatics and consular officials accredited abroad. These are governed by special rules and grant some exemptions. First, Colombian officials returning to the country. The dispatch to consumption without the payment of import duties, luggage and household items brought to the country through the special declaration of admission with franchise. A vehicle with free disposal that does not exceed the specific FOB values. The taxes to be paid for the importation of the vehicle will be reduced by 30% if the official provides his service for at least one full semester. They will be reduced in 100% if you completed 1 year or more of service abroad. Officials accredited in the country. Exemptions from registration or import license for the vehicle or other merchandise that they bring as luggage, household goods, or for consumption. Release of import duties, VAT, and any other that affects the clearance for consumption of the goods noted. And vehicles, one vehicle every 4 years.